Today we are going to talk about wastewater treatment in tannery industry. So first of all, we will be looking at what are the table of contents which we'll be seeing in this. We will be about the tannery industry, what are the processes involved, sources of wastewater generation, flow and composition of wastewater, wastewater treatment method, and wastewater discharge standards. So let's move forward with our first and foremost, what is tanning or tannery? Tanning is mainly processing of hides or skins of animals. Hides is derived from the cattle and cows mainly. So, and skins are mainly from the other animals, like we can also get from goat, sheep, and sometimes we also get skins from the reptiles of the dead animals. So, processing them for the finished leather product is called tanning, and the whole industry where it is processed is called tannery. Now, here the input, or you can say the raw material, are basically the hides or skins, and chemicals are used. Moreover, water and air, and it is processed at the site, which is called tannery. And at the byproduct of it is the processed leather and effluent as a wastewater, also air pollution and some solid wastes. Let's move forward and see that what is it about the process involved in tannery industry. So the mainly three processes involved: pre-tanning, tanning, and post-tanning. We will be seeing all this in detail. So about pre-tanning process, firstly it's a start with storage. After that, washing, soaking, liming, deliming, pickling, and degreasing. At each stages, the leather is processed for the next stage, and it is firstly stored such that it should not degrade with time. Otherwise, the quality of the leather we want will not be as we require. In washing, mainly the suspended solids are generated. In soaking, it is done so that moisture which is lost it is regained. In case of liming, the removal of hair is done. Either it is done by means two processes are mainly involved: dehairing or reliming. And after that, deliming and pickling, degreasing. So all these you can see that these are followed step by step, because for better quality of leather, all these need to be done, and wastewater will be generated from each of these process. So we need to analyze that what is the quality of wastewater from the each processes. Coming next is about the tanning process, and there are two types of tanning, mainly chrome tanning and vegetable tanning. So tanning gives us more strong and durable leather. On the contrary, tanning process doesn't give that much strength to the leather. Talking about the wastewater generation, in the chrome tanning, very uh, high concentration of heavy metals are produced, and the prime metal is chromium. Talking about vegetable tanning, here more of the organic products are seen in the wastewater, and high ratio of BOD to COD. But in case of chrome tanning, there is the ratio of BOD to COD is the less. Moving to the next and last is the post tanning process. So it's mainly done to give a good look, so that finished leather can be circulated all across the world. And for the later stages, so here samming, splitting, saving and trimming, rechroming, semi-chroming, neutralization, dyeing, fat liquoring, and finishing, all these processes are done. And you can pause the video and you can see that what are all these. I'm quickly overviewing over it, that when we are doing the wet blue is mainly done for chrome tanning. So excess moisture is removed there. Splitting means thickening. The thickness of the leather is need to be maintained within some specified limit. So splitting is done for that. Rechroming, because the quality of wet blue depend upon that chromium content in the leather. So sometimes the chromium is externally added. Again, followed by semi-chroming, neutralization, dyeing. Dyeing is also used because the some of the leather need to be processed as for finished look. So dyeing is also necessary, and fat liquoring and finishing. So many number of chemicals are used. Rough estimate is about more than 250 chemicals are used in a good tanning industry. Now moving toward the sources of wastewater generation. So firstly, the wastewater which are generated from tannery is not same all across the world. It depends from one tannery to another, as it is totally dependent that which type of processes you are involving. Some of them you may skip, or suppose that you are going for chromium tanning, then heavy metals will be heavy metals in the wastewater will be much more than the wastewater of the vegetable tanning. So the concentration and characteristics vary. Also, we also have to see that what are the concentration of the BOD, COD, and organic nitrogen, sulfide. So wastewater of the from the beam houses, which is soaking, liming, deliming, are highly alkaline, containing decomposing organic matter, hair, lime, sulfide, and organic matter with high BOD and COD. So all the processes don't have same content, same we can say that concentration of BOD or COD. So each of them need to be firstly our wastewater surveys need to be done to get idea about that which process is giving what concentration of the wastewater parameters, and after that the processes accordingly need to be done. Okay. So effluent from the, for example, that effluent from the wastewater, vegetable tanning contain high organic matter, and chrome tanning waste contain high amount of chromium, mostly in the trivalent form. So let's see about the different wastewater generation from different processes. So if suppose that we are talking about soaking, so here water, biocides, and enzymes are as an input, and what will be present in the wastewater. So there's dissolved solid will be there, BOD, COD, suspended solid, chlorides. Similarly, as we can see that there are a number of steps following, and in the left hand side it is about the what are the things included as a raw material, and what are the things which are coming as a output. So for different process, for suppose that chrome tanning, because it is very much a crucial part, because when dealing with this chromium is very mandatory, and it must be within the specified standard by the government. So it need to be tackled very carefully. Now moving toward the wastewater flow and composition. So it is obtained after the surveying. Okay, so means wastewater surveying. We can see for different of the process such as soaking, beam house operation, pickling and chroming, wet finish, and composite including washing. So firstly, I would like to mention the source. It is Central Leather Institute Research Institute from the Chennai, that is in India, in Tamil Nadu. So we can see that for soaking, the volume of the effluent, it is around 6,000 to 9,000, and as we see for the pH, so in beam house we can see that pH is between 8 to 12, and in pickling the pH is between 2.2 to 4. So suppose we want to neutralize it, so we can mix the wastewater coming from the beam house and the pickling. So such type of techniques we can apply for neutralizing and saving the cost and making the wastewater treatment economical. Moreover, we can see also that the BOD and COD, BOD in the soaking is less as compared to the beam house, and COD in the soaking is also comparatively higher as compared to wet finish, but its range is also high. So one of the most critical, that is total chromium. We can see that pickling and chrome tanning it is around 1500 to 3000. Okay, so similarly, we this type of wastewater flow composition we get from the uh, lab experiments, laboratory, and it need to be analyzed firstly before the treatment. Okay, so if we say about the mass balance, that mass balance, quickly telling what is it, so that total input is equals to total output. But in output, some of things are of our desired and some of thing we don't desire. So suppose that chrome oxide is added is 25 kg per ton. So on leather it is 12 kg per ton and wasted it is 13 kg per ton. So we need to treat mainly 13 kg per ton in the wastewater. So as such, we can see that there are other compounds also, and its source is UNIDO. So it is basically a organization of United Nations, which tackles with dealing with how to uh, process the wastewater generated from different industries. Now talking about the wastewater treatment method. So firstly, we have to technique for treating effluent from the tanneries include flow and load equalization. So it is a basic and primary for most of the industries. Here also it is followed that load equalization and flow need to be analyzed, and equalization tanks are installed. Filtration then followed by filtration and separation of the filterable solid. Then source segregation and pre-treatment for removal or recovery of chromium, because chromium is vital in this industry. So we have to remove that. Then grease traps, skimmers, oil separators, and these also are techniques are used to remove the hairy part or the suspended part which are coming from the leather or the skins and hair of the hides or skins. And then it is followed by the sedimentation, then biological treatment, and biological nutrient removal for reduction in nitrogen and phosphorus, then chlorination for the disinfection process also, because more organic matter are present, so it may lead to spread of some of the uh, microbial diseases. So disinfection is need to be done, and dewatering and disposal of the residuals in the designated hazardous waste landfill, or we can spend much more time and money to treat the water. So main phases of treatment include preliminary physical chemical treatment and biological treatment. After that, followed by advanced tertiary treatment and sludge handling process. So in the preliminary, you can expect that something means as the hides or skins are washed, then suspended solid will be generated. So all of them will be of organic nature. So at there also sludge is generated, and uh, at each steps you can include some of the sludgy parts, so that comes under the sludge handling and disposal process. And coming toward the physical chemical treatment primary, that is the removal of settleable organic and inorganic solid. So that will be removal of material by the float, means because organic matters are mainly of lighter density as compared to the inorganic matter. So floating method is more effective in this removal. And approximately you can see that some data are mentioned that 25 to 50% of the incoming BOD, and 50 to 70% of total suspended solid, and 65% of the oil and grease are removed during primary treatment. So it is much more beneficial, and it need to be done so that our machinery part don't get choked, and some of the cost could be saved for later process also. And talking about the biological treatment, then removal of biodegradable solids, dissolved and colloidal organic matter using aerobic biological treatment method process, and advanced lagoon method, these are also used. So an advanced tertiary treatment also include the reduce the residual COD load, and or when a specific wastewater constituents are not removed by previous treatment stages. So let's see the general treatment process. So it is about that uh, this looks very clumsy, but it can be understood that there are mainly three processes: conventional lagoon system, fully aerobic system, and combined treatment with UASB. Here we can see that blue line which is showing that from where the water is coming into that, and then it is firstly pre-settler, and it is coming to equalization tank. Thereafter it is going to the PST, primary sludge treatment, and sludge is going. Then after it is going to anaerobic lagoon, then aeration tank, and biological treatment happening. So in this way we can also go for it. And if we are coming toward the special attention to pollutant, so some of the metal removal using membrane filter or other physical chemical treatment technologies can be also used, and the reduction in the effluent toxicity, appropriate technologies such as reverse osmosis or ion exchange or activated carbon can be used for reducing the content of toxicity, and reduction of TDS in effluent using RO or evaporation can also be done. Contaminants and neutralization of odor nuisance. And talking toward the wastewater discharge standard, so it is much more important because before releasing the water into the water bodies, as per the laws, we have to check the wastewater quality. So this screenshot is mentioned that from the CPCB website, and in the 57 number point, you can see that Tannery is mentioned. So from there, this data has been taken about the wastewater discharge standard. Here we get the limit of the pH, BOD, COD, total suspended solid, total dissolved solid, and total chromium content. That is all is mentioned, and it must be the discharge effluent must be within this specified limit, so that our river and water bodies don't get polluted beyond a certain limit. And maximum water consumption, uh, as mentioned, are for raw to wet blue 20 meter cube per ton of height, and post tanning process 20 meter cube per ton, and raw to finished 40 meter cube. So maximum of the wastewater discharge, 85% of the water, 85% of maximum water consumption. Okay, so only 50% is basically you can say that used, and 85% of the maximum is as a so, means you can see this line. Maximum wastewater discharge equals to 85% of maximum water consumption. Means suppose that 100 liter of water is used, then 85 liter will be going into waste. Okay. So this is all is done, and it is taken from this CPCB website data only. So I hope that you are able to understand this. And instead, if you are having any query, you can comment in the comment box.